Hello everyone and welcome to another one of the guides. This time it's gonna be for Icebox because Icebox is right around the corner for Premiere. So yeah, this time for Icebox I narrowed down to three agents that I'm gonna be focusing on because I think it's the three main agents that you probably need to know how to play on this map. And number one is obviously gonna be Viper. Even though after the nerf, I still think Viper is probably still the best agent for this map. Um, you can run a harbor with it, but I don't think you can run a harbor maybe instead. But I still think most people and should be running Viper because I still think just everything about her walls, her orb, and her mollies and ult just brings so much value in this map specifically. Um, and then I'm also going to be using Gecko. I'm also going to be showing Gecko and KJ. Gecko, I think you should be running with another initiator. I think Gecko Sova for me personally is the best double initiator for this like map. But you can also run like pro teams like Genji and Sentinels and teams like that are running Gecko KO. Um, I just personally prefer Gecko Sova because I think the intel that Sova can get works better for this map with his drone and his dart. And I also think you have even more delay with his Sova shock dart. So, but yeah. Anyways, let's get started. Um, so the first thing that I want to show is actually before the wall drops, but
30 seconds left.
good.
Thrifty.
So if I'm gonna start with the B side of the map, and if you wanna, you can place this wall before the wall even drops. All you have to do is just go right alongside the wall, and make it so your wall ends up crossing this line and ends here pretty much. And yeah, once you see that it is, just throw it, and then you can end with my face, and it will land here. This part there's no real wall that can really cover it with like without really leaving a gap, or you just have to be like really close to the wall, which is just gonna take longer and more time for you to be able to execute. So I think this wall is probably gonna be the best, and just make sure that you watch this part of and if somebody's standing here, you'll be able to see him, and you'll probably be able to have the advantage, unless he has an op. But other than that, there's not too much that you have to worry about that angle. But yeah. So now it's about for Viper. Now you did your job of placing your wall. Maybe you got a couple kills. Now you're gonna be planting, right? Now it's gonna be the plant. Most of the time you're either gonna plant here, sometimes here, but here's just kind of awkward because I don't think it's the best. Unless you plant the snowman. But even if you plant the snowman, I would recommend either planting here or here. But if you planted here, which is like kind of like default, which is the default kind of, there's a couple lineups that you can do. One lineup is specifically this one, where you just align yourself with the bottom part of this diamond, and aim on top of a kind of like this shady part of the mountain, and just run. And it will hit the molly. Remember that you only have one molly though, so you'll probably need a lot more delay. You can even combine it with a Sova shock there. Maybe if they're planting, you just learn some Sova lineups, and while they're vulnerable, you just send a Sova shock there, and it can actually do a lot of damage. Another one that you can do is if you stand here and then you just aim at the top right of this mountain right here. Actually no, top left, sorry. And then just once again run, jump, run, and then yep, it'll be the same, it will land in the same place. It's just this one is safer though, because you're a little bit more tucked in. But if you need to be faster, you know, even by like a millisecond, then this is pretty good. And then there's also back here, but here it's for the other. So if you wanted to plant more, you know, deep and more open for like snowman and open to like different places, then you plant there. And if you come here, align yourself with this specific like line, and your HP bar is gonna have like a small little thing coming out of it. If you can see, like, okay, it's gonna be aligned with here. Your HP line has like a small little line coming up from it. You just have to align that little line with the bottom part of this place, and just send in your molly, and it will land It will land towards the open. And we'll cover all of this. So yeah. There's a lot of... Those are the main lineups that you need. B is mainly just playing post. Sometimes you want to get up space. If it's like a free plant, then you probably want to get space like up into Snowman. And get a space into like mid side. But other than that, then just play post. B is pretty easy to play post plant. So now
30 seconds left.
once again, if you're going, and I forgot to show this, but this orb you should probably be putting an orb up like every round, like instantly. But for this wall, you probably want to put it. You want to probably put your wall just like this. Simple. I do prefer putting it not covering like here, just because if you cover here, then it'll be a lot more open to, like, they can still play it like behind it, and I just think it's a lot better for you to have this angle. Like, sure, they'll be able to have the angle, but I think it's just better for you to be able to clear it instead of, you know, you all being on site and then this wall drops and then there's just still a kid like behind it. So I personally prefer it, but you can. All you have to do is like just aim it up, aim the wall up, and then it will cover that, like the gen part or a screen. But yeah, okay. So for this molly, all you have to do, this lineup is very easy actually. Before the wall drops, or just align yourself with the very point, and then just align yourself at the top of like this blue crate.
30 seconds left.
Anyways, just align yourself with this blue crate, and then just lift it, and it'll cover the whole. This wall is very good because it denies mid info, and it allows you to just kind of be like it. Even if you don't go mid, it will just create pressure mid, and it'll kind of force somebody to go mid, because if they have a turret here, they won't really be able to get any intel. And you'll be able to kind of walk through unless they have a person watching here. Yeah. Once again, since I already showed you the wall, I'll show you like the wall that goes on top. You kind of line it up. And with this wall, like I said, it'll kind of leave this part open, where they can play behind. And once this wall drops, they're still gonna be up here, which is kind of like a reason why I don't like it. But I mean, that's just preference. It's up to you if you want to do it or not. But yeah, all right. Now it's time for the lineups, which is really important for A, because A is very post planty kind of. So the first lineup is gonna be in this crate. And all you have to do is align yourself with the bottom of this, bottom right of this bar, and just jump. And if you planted up here, I should probably get spike. If you planted up, which is probably one of the best spots that you can plant in, just because it is open to like quite literally everything, and it's just a very awkward place for like the enemy team to play in, because there's not a lot of places that they can like run to after they tap. So let me just get spike real quick. So if you can, you'd probably want to preferably plant up there. You probably prefer you want to plant here. And then, but most times but a lot of people plant here and here. Here you should avoid at all costs, like unless it's like unless you're like low on time or you're getting really pressured and there's no other place that you can plant this, then plant here. But if you can, this is like the second best place they can plant. It's either here, here, or here. These are like your best plant spots, right? But if you're planting here, for this one, all you have to do, you can come over here, align yourself with this place, and just aim it on this part of like this angle right here, and just throw, and it'll hit the wall, and it'll bounce back. Yep. Okay. And now now if you planted like default, now if you had to plant default, right? If you had to plant default, but you still need lineups, because you especially need lineups because you need to delay if you're playing post, because people have to be in this angle, or because if you're playing post, you won't be able to play here if you're defaulting. So you kind of will need lineups to really like delay the plant, before you need to fight angles, right? So one of the plus you can do is line yourself here. It's the second line connected with this yellow line. Align yourself here, and then just aim at the very top, bottom left of this kind of pillar, and you just left click, and it'll land there. Now the second lineup that you can do is on this box, kind of aim towards like the middle of this pillar part up, and it will bounce off the pillar and it will bounce onto the spike. It kind of works for here as well, but I mean, you probably prefer to do it here just because not only is it safer, but it also lands more on top of the spike. So,
I have the spike.
but yeah, all right, that's pretty much it for Viper though. Except for Oats, maybe Oats, you probably want to just like send one here. Oats is pretty easy. Your main priority is just to really focus on the spike. So, but yeah, now on to Gecko. Gecko is a little bit more, I wouldn't say easy, but it kind of is easier for you to know the lineups for him. Just because his molly is very easy to use.
30 seconds left. Thrifty.
I got the spike.
Right. So the first place that you want to do it is same spot. I think it was here. Yeah, and then okay. Now this is for the open, right? This is for the open because I didn't show you guys one for Viper. If you plant it in the open here, you can just go here in this pillar and aim right in the middle of this kind of grayish pillar thing. Under that. Now, if you want to go here and you planted there, then you stand in the same place, but all you have to do is click like tap W once. Like as soon as you're about to throw it, tap W once and throw it at the same time. Instead of like running, like walking, like running throw, just tap W just once, all right? And then it will create enough momentum for it to land on the spike. That's like that's the only difference that it needs to get from here to here. So, now if you plant it on top, there's two different places that you can use it from. One is here, and then you just with this arrow align yourself at a 90-degree angle, and then right here, and just jump throw, and it'll land on top. Now that's one. That's one of them. Now align yourself with this line that's kind of like here, and then just aim right in between, like in the middle, but here, like right in the middle between the rope. Oh, I didn't mean to left click. Right in the middle of the rope and the nest, and with this line, and left click. Oh, never mind. That was for this one. Okay, that was awkward. There is one for here, I think. I'm pretty sure. Or is there? I'm pretty sure there was. I'm pretty sure if you go here and then aim the bottom left hand corner of the light, it should land on top. Yeah. Alright. Alright, now I got it. Yeah, so just align yourself with this, and then bottom left hand corner of the light, and it will land on top. There you go. Okay. Yeah, but that was the one for default, as you saw. It will land on default. You don't have to worry about it. So pretty good. Now for B. Okay, B Gecko lineups I wouldn't really recommend it, but Gecko there's like a weird thing that sometimes it won't let you plant. Like your wingman won't be able to plant like in certain situations unless you really have a good angle on it. For some reason, I don't really know why. Such as like here you quite literally can't plant unless you send it like there. So I'll probably recommend you just sending like I'll probably just recommend you sending it here just because it'll plant. And although it's in the open, I mean, it's just gonna be easier, especially if your Viper wall's up, then you can kind of just rest assured that you can plan here. Especially since it's not a real human being. Most of the time they'll be shooting like at this level, while Wingman is like kind of sitting at like really low level. So I doubt they'll really be able to shoot it out. But as for lineups, I don't have any lineups for B. Because I think Viper, I think you should probably use your Molly more for XX. Such as when you're executing, just send your Molly alongside with your dart, with your Sova dart, which allows your team to have time to push up. Because I think your Sova, the shock darts, and I think your Molly for Viper will be a lot more needed for posts on B instead of, unlike on A, how your Molly will be a lot more powerful as Gecko on A. And same thing with Ro. Ults, I'll just go very quickly into the basics of ult. One, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know, a lot of pros have talked about it as well. You don't need to hold W with your ult. With your ult, you don't need to hold W. W is useless with your ult because it will automatically go, right? Now, number 2. And because of that, you are allowed to really control your movement. It's like, it's kind of OP in a way, right? Because you're literally allowed to do like crazy movement with it, which just makes it like a lot harder for you to shoot. And then number 3, the most basic one, is you're able to explode it before. You're able to explode your ult before the time. If you double left click, it will explode before when it like. This is a single left click, right? That's a single left click. Now, if you double left click, it just pops a lot earlier. As you saw, I ulted pretty much in the same place, but instead of landing here, it landed here. And what I see a lot of people do, especially in low elo, is when they see a person that's close, they will ult, right? And then if they see a person here, they will left click and try like swerving it back because if they overshot it. When instead, they should just double left click to make it explode in the area. Right? It makes it so you pretty much will almost never miss a ult unless they break it. It's just very convenient. But that's it for Gecko, as well. Like I said, Gecko's pretty simple. I mean, other than that, like Dizzy and Wingman, I mean, just kind of send them in. Dizzy and then pick him up. Like, I mean, he's just really OP right now. And then last one is Killjoy. Killjoy, I'm not really gonna go into lineups because I don't think you should have lineups in this map. I think you should just place your I think in this map it's not like Haven. I think on this map you can just place your mollies because there's a lot of good places that you can place it. One is right here. Not only because it will get here, right? And it'll also get on top. So if you plant it on top, you can kind of just place your molly here and it'll still get it. It'll get the people that are trying to defuse still here. So that is one that you can do. And yeah, just place your molly, place your alarm bot. But the most important part is going to be the KJO. KJO, if you can use it here. Here is probably like the safer place. Here's probably like the safer place. It will just not get back sight, so you probably just need to be careful for that. Especially if it's a chamber. What chambers can do is place like, I'm pretty sure they can place a, what's it called? They can just place a TP like here somewhere. If your ult's here, and then they can take a shot, and then as soon as your ult disappears, if he times it correctly, he shouldn't. When he TP's back, he shouldn't get ulted. And then if you have control of maze, right? If you have full control of maze and they're trying to play retake, what you can do is ult here. Here it will actually delay them so much because they won't be able to come into stairs. They won't be able to go even close to like. They won't be able to go here onto screens. So it'll just delay them so much if you have control of sight and you want to play post. Now, for a retake, I would suggest normally you place it here. And then I would suggest you throwing a molly. Because that's kind of like the place that they will most likely be playing, right? You can now once again you can combine this with a KJ with a Gecko. You can do this with a Gecko or Viper. I'll most likely suggest a KJ just because with KJ it's just there's a lot more damage, so they'll die a lot faster, and you don't really need KJ. Like Viper and Gecko can be really good for post, while KJ is a lot better for just. I think KJ's mollies will be a lot better for that situation, and yeah. Now for your defense, for your turrets, you can place your turret. I'll most likely suggest here. It will watch kitchen, and it will also watch anybody coming up here. Now, another place they can put it is on top of boiler, which will cover here. But once again, if they have a Viper, like I showed you the lineup for the orb, this turret will not be able to catch the players crossing underneath. So, once again, if you that's kind of like a gamble. That's kind of a gamble that you can take. So either you place it here, or you place it on top of boiler. Now, if you place it on top of boiler, I would suggest you just putting like an alarm bot, like kind of like here, because then it'll get people coming up here and people coming up here. Or you can even, if you're kind of sure about it, then you can place it here. But I wouldn't suggest that just because I feel like it would be better for you to have a player watching underneath. And while having an alarm bot here is a lot more powerful. So yep, and for now for your attack. If you're attacking, you can place your alarm bot, your turret in a couple places. Here's one of them, because here, if they have an op, it will be very good because a lot of ops like being posted. A lot of ops like being posted here, right? And this alarm bot won't let them. You instantly get aware, and they'll have to shoot it, or they'll have to have a teammate shoot it. Most of the time, they'll just shoot the alarm bot, and then you get into okay, they have an op. They have an op, and you kind of know where the op is, so you know a little bit of what they're gonna be able to do with that op.
Bot coming back.
Or you can place your alarm bot here if you're pushing A, right? With here, it'll watch B. It'll watch the people coming from mid and the people who are coming from B. And if you're going B, if you're going B, you can place it here. It'll kind of do the same job, but in the opposite side. It'll watch people coming from A and people watch coming from B. I'll probably suggest you putting an alarm bot actually, instead of a turret, because the turret I think you should be placing here, no matter what. I think it's just a lot more useful. And then sure, you won't be able, and then with this turret, if you're going towards a B, then you kind of have to be a lot more of a lurker. But even then, what you can do with your turret is also put your turret in here. But then, this turret will actually not be useful though, just because it will only watch A. People coming from here, they will be able to come, and they can also break it really easily, right? So instead of placing it here, just place it here, because not only will you give it more range for you to be able to play with, but it'll also like be a lot harder for them to find, they'll actually have to walk all the way up, which has a couple pros and cons, right? Everything has pros and cons. With this turret, if you're rotating off, you won't have intel of if somebody's might be pushed up here, like on your spawn mid. You won't have any intel on that, right? So they can literally just be playing here. Now, if you have a turret here, then and the turret shoots, or they shoot the turret, then you have some idea that they might be pushing, that they could be pushed up here, right? Now, if they break your turret, I would suggest you trying to come back and place an alarm bot, just because then you have intel. But if not, then you can just place your alarm bot on your plant. Like I said, it doesn't really matter what you do with it. Now for ult, I'll just suggest doing a normal ult like here. And for now, if you have side control, even if you have side control, this ult is very good, just because it would delay them a lot. Or you can kind of use your ult here. Now, with this ult, it denies them a little bit more of snowman, but with your Viper or wall like blocking here, it won't really matter if they have the space, just because your Viper wall is gonna block it either way. And it doesn't really, it actually decreases the range that it covers here. So I would suggest, even for post, even if you have control, just using it here like normally. And then, if you're trying to retake, the best place that you can probably is probably here. Sure, it won't cover Snowman, but with Snowman you can kind of just or
Area's
if
clear.
you want, you can also here, which will cover a lot more of Snowman.
Initiated. My ultimate is ready.
But I think they will be able to fight a lot more for it.
Here.
So you kind of have to like work on defending it, and they'll also be able to be a person playing here. And once again, like I said, if it's a chamber,
Yeah.
they can place the
Area's
TP here, and they might be able to time it. Or even if it's like a Reyna and that kind of stuff, right? Because Reyna is kind of viable on this map, so you have to remember that. So yeah. But that's about it, honestly. KJ, once again, you can kind of just place your you can place your mollies. You don't have to do a lineup for your mollies. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Icebox. But if you want like a composition that like the full composition that I would suggest running, it would probably go Jet. I think Jet is probably, if you're gonna run a duelist, it's probably the best duelist. You can also run Reyna. Reyna, you can honestly, you don't really need an entry duelist. Obviously it's pretty helpful if you do, but you don't need an entry duelist on this map. So if you want to run Reyna, if you want to run ISO, you can as well. But if you really want to run a duelist and you want the most efficient duelist, then probably Jet. KJ as a sentinel, I think KJ is almost a must on this map. Pretty much almost every single team runs it. Viper is also almost a must. Viper. So, and then for initiators, like I said, you can run KO Gecko. I think those are very like KO Geckos are very execute heavy. Sova Gecko, which will allow you to have a lot more intel towards mid round, post, just because of your drone. If you save your drone or just you have two pieces of intel, so you probably have a lot more intel, especially with like Gecko on your side. And just more delay with your Sova Shock Darts, which you can combine it a lot better with your Molly than I think you can with your KO Fragment. So yeah, but you can also run Sova KO. Sova KOs are definitely an option, but I just think Gecko is better. I mean, Gecko right now at the state that he's on with his being able to pick up his ult and use it twice, being able to pick up your wingman and being able to pick up your flash as much as you want, pretty much. With only a 10-second cooldown, like, is insanely OP. So I just think at the state that Gecko's in right now, I think you should be most definitely implementing him, especially on Icebox, because of how many angles that he can clear with like one single flash. So yeah, I think that would be the comp. There's the comp that Loud is running as well, where they don't even run a duelist, right? There's comps that Heretics are running where they run Sage, where they're running Sage KJ, Sage KJ. Sage is pretty good on this map with the walls that she can do, especially with Rez coming in. But so yeah, I mean, this map you can do a lot of cool things. But I mean, but if you want my ideal comp, like I said, it's KO, Sova Gecko, Jet, KJ, Viper. That would be my ideal comp for personal. And yeah, so I hope this video gave you a couple ideas that you can use, maybe some lineups that you can use. And just if you didn't have a comp, you know, hopefully I gave you some ideas of comps that you can create and just ways that you can maybe execute onto site correctly. So yeah, with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time.